checking back in with Quincy City Council President Noel DeBona for an update on the September 11th City Council meeting. Back in person this time, Noel.
Yes, we were. Good morning, Joe. We're back in person, back in session. This was the first official meeting back since the regular scheduled meeting since the summer, so since June.
Very good. And was everybody accounted for?
Everybody was accounted for. Nine. We had a quorum. We had 9 city council members, which was the whole group. And it was, we're looking to get back in, get some things done in the city. So it was good to see everybody again. It was kind of quiet in the audience and the crowd of people. So, but yeah, Joe, it's been raining again here. I know you're doing your forecasts, but it goes from a heat wave for a week, and then it looks like we got a couple days of rain. So,
it's crazy. It's New England. Anything could happen, but
it sure is. It sure is.
We are. Probably one of the most important things you did at the meeting was the 9/11 remembrance, correct?
Yes, we started off the meeting and also with the moment of silence for the September 11th, 2001, which is 22 years ago. The horrific attack, our terrorist attack on our U.S. soil, 2,977 victims. And it's unfortunate. We did it. Thoughts and prayers to the families and friends and to the ones that died on September 11th, 22 years ago.
Yeah, it's, I remember it well, as most people do. And the interesting part about that day, folks might remember, it was an election day. It was a primary election day. Yeah.
It sure was. And I went to the ceremony memorial at the fire station, Quincy Fire Station headquarters, at 9:55 a.m. Yesterday morning, and Congressman Lynch was up speaking, and he talked about how he got elected on September 11th in a special primary, a special election, and he was out, obviously campaigning, and all of a sudden the attacks came. So he talked about that in his remarks, and I've talked to him about it previous years, but yeah, it was an election day that day. It was a Tuesday. So it was great at the fire station, the headquarters, yesterday morning at 9:55. Kudos to Chief Joe Jackson, has done a great job over the last few years as acting and then chief. And he took me aside a little bit late after the ceremony. He said, we're going to continue to do this. We had a dedication at 9:55, and then it's 15-20 minutes. We can continue to do this. And I says, I'm happy that you guys continue to do this. So it was really nice to see Quincy Police there as well. Of all the victims that passed away on 9/11, 343 members were from the New York City Fire Department and 72 law enforcement officers. So, as they went into the towers to try to save people and get them down, obviously when it happened, it just was unreal. And then we don't talk about it as much either as the amount of smoke and into all that stuff that people were breathing, and what the long-term effects have been as well. So to the family and friends, and to the victims, but with both, the dedication in the morning and then having the remembrance at the city council meeting last night was very touching.
Absolutely. Yep. And the agenda itself, Noel, looked rather light. Is that right?
Just a couple gifts to DARE, and we appreciate all the donors that have given to DARE and also to the animal shelter. That was really a light agenda coming back into session. I predict will be more stuff on the agenda for the next meeting, which is September 18th, which is coming up this Monday. One other thing I would like to note, Joe, and I know you guys have probably talked about it, is Richard Mead, who passed away on August 1st. Just everything that he had done for the city for all these years, being planning director. I believe he was planning director for 34 years, and then a part of the planning department. And then he was director for 17, and then he was on the planning board for many, many years, and he just passed away as the chairperson. So all the time, think about how many administrations he's been through, and all the different mayors and administrations and different people that he's worked with. He's a book of knowledge and sponge that it's going to be very unmatched to have, So he was a double eagle, by the way. He went to Boston College High School in '64, and he also went to Boston College in '68. So he was a double eagle, and he did a lot of things for the community as well. I know he coached soccer, basketball, and baseball through the years. He was also the retirees. He was the president of the Quincy retirees. So he's done a lot for the city, and he'll be dearly, dearly missed. And I did his remarks. I did his obituary kind of last night, and for the family and for his friends and a lot of people. I know Jim Fatsis was very close with him, our current planning director, and he had called me that day and let me know. And it's unfortunate that happened over the summer, and we didn't have sessions, so special meeting. I wasn't going to talk about it, but we did it on a regular meeting, which was last night.
Yeah, I had the privilege to know Rich for many, many years. I worked with him on a professional level, and he also had a very great sense of humor.
He sure did. He sure did, and he was great. We really going to miss him. I believe he was 77 years old, and he died unexpectedly. So it was kind of a shock when I got the call.
Sure. I guess a couple of events we should mention, Noel, that you're familiar with, I'm sure, is the community meeting tonight regarding the Welcome Center at ENC.
Yes, I'll be attending that tonight. And I attended the meeting 2 weeks ago at Beechwood Knoll Beechwood Knoll Elementary School that was on the inside. And we're going to get more answers tonight from basically the state and Eastern Nazarene. They're going to be the ones really basically running the meeting. I don't know exactly how it's going to come about, so I'm just there to listen and observe, and we'll get more answers tonight, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, and then of course Thursday.
The biggest thing that people were looking for, Joe, is communication. The communication level of what's going on and how is everything being handled, and at the end of the day, making sure that the folks in the community know what's going on.
Yeah, and then Thursday evening at Squantum School, a meeting about a new Squantum School.
That sure is, and I believe both meetings are at 6:30 p.m.
That's right. Yeah.
And yes, it's just a long way waiting for the Squantum Elementary. Obviously, we're getting to the next stage where we're actually going to have these community meetings, and I'm looking forward to both of them.
Excellent. All right, and we look forward to
attending that as well, Joe.
You'll be busy this week, Noel.
Be busy this week. We have council meeting last night. We have these two, so it's a busy time. September's always a busy month. Everybody gets back into the swing of things. All the meetings come back, and that's what you get elected for. So you got to do the work.
That's right. We'll have to talk again next Tuesday because you're meeting again.
That's right, and we'll be back-to-back meetings, Joe. And we'll have a lot more to talk about. We had a whole summer where we had a little bit off, Joe. But it's been great. I see the city really flourishing in general. Looking around, and I think going into this, I talked to Al Gross. I always plug in a little bit about roads and sidewalks, Joe, if we have a little extra time. And I talked to Al Gracioso last night. He's just just talking a little bit about how long we can get these roads and sidewalks in, and then talked about time. It says, no, council, we're going to go until it gets cold out. We could go end of November. We could go December. We've even done roads in January, the early January when it's warmer out. So that was my first thing, is how much work can we get done until in the next 3 to 4 or 5 months if we can fit it in. But we had that $1 million road package that we did, CIP, the capital improvement plan. So always looking forward to getting new roads and sidewalks done, sewer work, and going in line with gas lines, so it's an algorithm down underneath in the infrastructure, because you got to let some of that stuff settle. So we talk about it quite a bit, me and him.
Well, I know there's a big water main replacement right now on Billick Street up in Suffolk Downs, so there's a lot going on.
Sure is. And those water replacements, you got to do them, and then you got to let it settle. And then the following years, when you really, or 6 months to 8 to 9 months, you come in and you actually do the road over. So it takes a little bit of time, but we're getting progress. Joe, I was thinking about it. I've been elected now for 10 years, 2 on the school committee and 8 years as a city council, as an at-large councilor. And I tell you, since I've started, the city has looked different. With the Hancock Adams Common and all these different things that we've done, it just looks different.
No question. Yeah, that's for sure. And it's going to look different 10 years from now too, I'm sure.
It sure will. It sure will. And for the better. And we're doing activities with an open space and parks and playgrounds. Also been the community preservation have been on that for the last 8 years, and that's been fantastic. What we've done for playgrounds and parks and open space, historical preservation and stuff. So we're all tailoring the funding together, and you have to funnel a little bit. As we get into roads, you get different funding coming in. As you education, you get different funding coming in. So you have to piggyback off each other.
All right, Noel, I'm sure we'll talk about all of those going forward. Good to talk to you today.
You bet, Joe. Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Take care.